going on my YouTube? It is your boy Ghostfac3. I'm back once again with another Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Just ready to go in for an hour, maybe hour and a half. Met some people last night while I was gaming, streaming. I was actually streaming the same game, man. Hopefully they'll follow, like, and subscribe, and use my channel to use as their reference points for certain parts of the game. And the young lady, I think her name is Leslie, and her boyfriend both started playing Valhalla there in the very, very beginning of the game. So, good luck to them. Skull for the adventure from Norway to England.
Continue old wounds.
Of course, after my screen cut off for some weird reason, last night I continued the game. So, once again, we are pretty far. What I'm about to do right now, though, is play the review, listen to Geek and 101's review of
You ready? Alright, 100. If you haven't checked me out yet on Instagram, I don't know if you Big D on Instagram, where I post all kinds of different stuff that I'm interested in, like movies, Dragon Ball, of course, sports, and my adventures. And I hope to make you laugh too. Instagram.com/geekdombigd, because it's the big. We have hit quite the milestone. Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter 80. I would have never thought back in 2015 that this would actually go to Chapter 80, but we are still going, and the battle between the Heater Gang and Goku, Vegeta, and Granola, namely Granola, is continuing. Last chapter, this chapter is called Granola vs. Gas 2. How great. But it is a very different manga chapter, not so much in the way of action, because I feel like this chapter has probably as much action as the last one. It is in the way of us really finding out what Gas can do, and we got a lot more information on Gas in this episode than what we had known about before. by little, he slowly starts to pick up to Granola and become a better fighter, learn his movements, learn how to increase his own strength, and be able to basically even the odds against the Senzu being, Howard Granola, that is to say. And I often wondered, is this really the height of Gas's power, as I was reading last month's chapter? Well, turns out it's really not, as we find out in this chapter. So there's a moment here where Granola, basically uses telekinesis to create all these rocks and then blow them up, and in a way to kind of create these little grenades. That was kind of a cool idea, but I feel like
Find and rescue the Danes.
power is just not going to work on Gas. However, I will give Toro credit. There's a lot of great panels here in this manga chapter. There's actually really good ones here shortly that I thought were pretty spectacular. I love, Granola and Gas duking it out with their powers combining.
Find and rescue the Danes.
All looks good to me. But like I said, Gas is slowly beginning to catch up to Granola during this fight and go for the it's just that Granola did not finish Gas off, and that's similar to what may have happened as Granola goes with Vegeta, because Granola was kind of toying with that for a while. But it's funny to me because letting an opponent live for too long is a mistake that both Goku and Vegeta have made. Heck, Gohan even made that mistake against Cell when he let him live for too long, and that is what made Cell large and blow up, and that's what led to Goku sacrificing himself. So it's a mistake that is made over and over again by the good guys and the bad guys in Dragon Ball. Granola tries different stuff, like for example, he makes
Find and rescue the Danes.
And they all attack Gas. I really love that panel. I love the way that Toro kind of drew the Granolas surrounding the center with Gas in the middle. That's really great stuff. I love the perspective art here from Toro. And I also really love the panel that I had to turn sideways here for you guys. That should turn to the side.
Find and rescue the Danes.
Magazine, which is Gas firing Ki Blast at all of the Granola clones, piercing all of them through the stomach and chest. That was a freaking great panel, dude. I literally pictured the old Dragon Ball Z sound effects here as he did that.
Chase First Bank, a debit card for kids, and a set of tools to help them learn.
Find and rescue the Danes.
And assigning chores they can practice every day. With a debit card just for them. Responsibility understand. While you monitor and set accountabilities. And using their own Chase mobile app, they can set big savings goals, all with no monthly service fee. Chase First Banking.
Less than 12 months for under $11,000. University of Phoenix's competency-based master's programs put your relevant professional experience to work so you can reach your goals faster. Learn more at phoenix.edu.
Or what I mean? The old sound effects, the classic ones. I enjoyed that part of it. Now, as the battle, Granola tries to eradicate different tactics, and Gas is still kind of not doing that well, but being better than it was before. But it's not until Ellen shows up that the twist of the battle, we find out that Gas's power has been suppressed. That little, I guess that little headdress that he's wearing, that sort of necklace on his head, that has some kind of power, some kind of seal over Gas. Don't really know the origins of it yet, but I hope to find out soon, maybe in a future chapter or in a guidebook or something. But that, thing was actually suppressing Gas's power, and that Gas can get a lot stronger than he's revealed so far if it's removed. So Alec, being the agent of chaos that he is, removes it, and we have Granola going into rage mode. Now, when I did my spoiler video, I discussed this.
Find and rescue the Danes.
It really is like Broly. It's like Broly going into rage mode. We've seen it a million times. But now, after actually reading the chapter and seeing the manga and seeing how it
Find
plays
and rescue the Danes.
rituals, I think it's more like the Great Ape than Broly. Because, as you know, we saw it with Gohan and Dragon Ball Z, and later on in GT with Golden Great Ape Goku. which led to
I should be
Ghost
cautious
transformation
around
that
here.
happens to Gas too, which I'll get to here in a minute. But Gas rages out. But the difference between Broly and Gas, and really the similarities
Find
of
and
it,
rescue the
as to why
Danes.
I'm comparing it to Golden Grade Ape from the Grade Ape, is because Gas is out of control. Broly, at least, especially the old Z Broly, has awareness of what he's doing. Like, he knows what he's doing, but Gas is just totally nuts. There's a panel where he accidentally attacks, Mackie and Oil. I mean, he even asked Monaito at one point, hey, dude, what's the secret to beating that Bardock found or whatever? Goku's father. And Monaito's like, I don't know. I passed out. I didn't see it. Great. So we're not going to get that reveal from Monaito. No, we're going to get that reveal. This manga
Find and
chapter
rescue the Danes.
Nope, you're not getting that reveal. So whatever Bardock did, now they're going to have to figure it out for themselves. So, like I said, Gas goes absolutely personal. That's headbutting like blocks on the wall, just nuts. There's actually a really cool scene where he takes Granola and smashes it into the I'm talking about like into the crust of the planet Syria. Like, it's freaking awesome. And that's a great scene.
Find and rescue the Danes.
Reminds me of a scene from the fight with Superman and Doomsday, like the Superman story in the 90s. Have y'all ever read that? That totally seems like something Carl may have been inspired by. He's also grabbing Granola by the forehead.
Find and rescue the Danes.
It really does come off like the move Broly would do. Super Broly and the old Z Broly as well. I mean, he's a complete savage, just choke slamming this or whatever you want to call it. Granola just smashed him, and Granola's bloodied up and just getting smashed. I mean, I called the spoiler video the other day. I did Gas Smash because he is like the Hulk, and he actually goes after Vegeta at one point, hitting him with a big flying kick.
Find and rescue the Danes.
And Vegeta's injured. And again, you gotta give credit to the great stuff by him showing the raging Gas. And I wonder how Toyotaro would draw Broly. Are we ever going to get Broly in this manga? Will we see at some point Broly maybe raging out and have it be drawn by Toyotaro? Like, actually, like, a complete story with him? Who knows? But if this is any indication, then great. I think he pulled it off. So at one point, Gas is just smashing Vegeta up, and then Goku shows up to protect Vegeta, and he ends up going up.
Find and rescue the Danes.
And what happens is he throws the punch at Gas. Gas does block the punch, but then during that moment, seeing Goku face to face up front for the first time, for some reason, that in combination with removing his little head thing, led to him having PTSD, a PTSD-esque flashback of Bardock. He thinks back to the fight with Bardock, so we see a little mini flashback of them fighting, and we see Bardock firing the same ki blast that he used, or one that's very similar to the one he used against Frieza in both the
Find
special
and rescue the Danes.
Broly at Gas. But what we don't see is what he attacks, what he hits. Is it one of his tusks? Like, what exactly is it that he tries to use on Gas? But Gas loses it, man.
Find
Gas.
and rescue the Danes.
Now, I do have a couple points to bring up here about Alec and what he did. First of all, did you guys notice that when Alec came back into the scene, at this point, the sky had not gotten dark. And when the Dragon Balls are summoned, the sky gets dark. So what does that mean? That tells me that Alec has not made a wish to the Cerulean Dragon after the one he had made the first time.
Find and rescue the Danes.
Unless it happens off screen or the rules are different, I'm wondering now, what was Alec's private business that he teased in the previous chapters? Did he go meet up with Frieza? Did he go get 7-3? What happened to Alec off screen? The sky did not go dark, so what does that mean? That remains to be answered in the future. Also, one other question I have is Gas's transformation, right? Can other heaters
Find and rescue the Danes.
Can the other heaters do a similar transformation? Do they all have their own special abilities?
Find
Is
and
the
rescue the
gas
Danes.
only thing? I mean, we find out in this chapter
Inventory.
that he is related to Alec. So, the end of the chapter, he calls him little brother, which is a big revelation. To me, that's interesting. I wonder about the other eaters, and they can do it, or if it's a gas exclusive, technique or power or whatever. That also remains to be seen. So what ends up happening is Alec tells Gas to control himself, and he managed to do it, and he manages to unlock a new form where he keeps his power in the tusks down. He is keeping control of his power while simultaneously having the
Find
rage
and rescue
power,
the Danes.
having access to that rage.
I need 3 Sonic Fritos, 2 Junior wraps. On it.
So, again, it's very reminiscent of Golden
Find and
Great
rescue the
Ape
Danes.
rampaging out and then controlling himself and then morphing into Super Saiyan 4 Goku and GT. There are similarities here.
Find
Whether or
and
not
rescue the
inspired
Danes.
by GT or not, that remains to be seen. Even though Noah did grow up watching the anime, so obviously he would have seen those episodes. And if you ever read his stuff prior to working on Dragon Ball Super, that he has an affinity for taking stuff from old stuff and still does it. So, yeah, I mean, I could totally see that being an inspiration. So when Gas gets control, he's not only got new powers,
Locked
he's got
from the
new
other side.
clothes as well. He manages to manifest new clothes on himself, and this is where Alec commands him to finish
Find and
them off
rescue the Danes.
with brother. And that's supposed to be the big revelation that they are indeed related by blood. So does that mean that Alec can also transform? Again, that remains to be seen, but that is the cliffhanger for the manga chapter, that now Alec has sicked Gas at max power, Aqua, Nola, and the others. I think it's going to take the team of both Vegeta and Piccolo together to defeat this new unleashed full power Gas. Now we have Gas at max strength.
Find
It's
and
going to get
rescue the
tough for our
Danes.
heroes. Where it's going to go, we'll find out next month. But first, I will talk to you guys in 2 days here on the channel, live streaming here on Keep the 101, the chapter and what's going to be next. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Leave a comment about what you thought about this chapter. I look forward to reading it, but I'll see you guys in 2 days.
Find and rescue the Danes.
Make sure you subscribe to the Make sure you enable all notifications
Find and rescue the Danes.
all the way through. And don't forget to follow Unreal Gaming on both Instagram and Twitter.
Find and rescue the Danes.
The video.
Find and rescue the Danes. Find and rescue the Danes.
With Dragon Ball Super manga chapter number 80 now officially in history books, the battle of the strongest warriors in the universe
Find and rescue the
has both
Danes.
Goku and Gas leave it all on the line, proving to the other that they who claim to be the mightiest is true.
Find
As
and
the
rescue
former
the
now
Danes.
controls his full power and overwhelming Gas around him, it seems the unending sight as Gas becomes the $1 billion order that is rolling down the control of the battle against Gas or the ultimate Gas as the strongest in the universe, or as the battle continues and as time goes on, Gas potential and ultimately figuring out and tapping into and using his full power and getting the better of Granola. As a quick reminder before we go deeper into this video, if you just so happen to be new to the channel and have a little
passion for all things Dragon Ball and anime related, then I do encourage you guys to go on over and smash that subscribe button and turn on all notifications by clicking on the bell icons. A single video posted on the channel, as well as giving this video a big fat thumbs up by slapping that like button down below if you simply enjoy the content being shown within the Dragon Ball Super manga and are excited to see what the overall direction
Find
of
and
Dragon
rescue
Ball
the
Super is
Danes.
going forward. And if you would like to learn more and catch up on the previous Dragon Ball Super manga chapters, then be sure to go ahead and click down below in the description box and checking out the official Dragon Ball Super manga playlist, where not only would you be able to catch up on all of the previous manga chapters that you guys may have missed, but you could also check out some of the previous moments that have unfolded and which had brought us to this very moment in time. So with that being said, I want to thank you all so much for your time. Thank you all so much for your support. And now let's dive straight into the
Find and
video.
rescue the Danes.
何をやってるんだカカロット、死にたくなければどけ。ここで引くわけにゃいかね。今回は
Find and rescue the Danes.
The first Dragon Ball Super manga chapter of
Find and
2000,
rescue the Danes.
Dragon Ball Super manga chapter number 80, entitled Gas vs. Granola 2, with everyone including Maki, Oil, Goku, Vegeta, and Monaito seemingly surprised by the overall situation of what's happening, and while Gas continues to
Find
oversee
and rescue the Danes.
very close attention, it would almost apparently seem as though Monaito is in fact actually Vegeta, but by the time anything else could happen, Gas erupts in a fit of rage, in making that vow in never losing to Granola, as Gas then begins to power up in such a way that it would almost
Find and
seem
rescue the Danes.
he's attempting to use his full power and manifesting that on the surface, to where as Gas continues to power up, he comments, "I'll figure out that move soon enough," which from there, Gas did not waste any more time in flying on down and punching the ground beneath him. For whatever reason this appeared to be the case, we see how rocks are beginning to fly all throughout the landscape. They're floating around Granola, as all the while Granola appears to be cool, calm, and collected.
Find and rescue the Danes.
Gas, which once again Gas did not waste any fight, because the moment Gas had gone on in dashing directly towards Granola, Granola had once again used instant transmission in getting out of dodge, causing Gas to miss his punch, where once again Gas, as a result in missing his attack, had gone on and
So for people that don't know, the Dragon Ball Super manga is currently still going. We're in chapter 80 right now. We are done with the Planet Eating Moral arc. Been past that. That arc was almost a year by itself. So now we're in the Gas Last Survivor arc, and we're pretty
Find and
much
rescue the Danes.
this arc. Toyotaro or Toriyama said that the new arc will begin soon.
Find and rescue the Danes.
I thought that too, right? Like,
Find and rescue the Danes. Find and rescue the Danes. Find
yeah,
and
so
rescue the
everybody's doing
Danes.
their reviews on chapter 80 right now. I haven't read chapter 80 yet, so
Find and rescue the Danes. 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 Find and rescue the Danes.
Yes. We got a lot coming up with Dragon Ball this year. We have a movie, Dragon Ball Superhero, coming out in April of 2022. Your boy Son Gohan is pretty much the lead. It's him, Piccolo, Pan. Hopefully we'll get teenage Goten and Trunks finally, because we're about a year off from the end of Z. And if you watch Dragon Ball Z, you know Goku comes in the 28th, Tenshinhan Budokai, and him and Oob fight. They go off and train. That's the end of Z. He's in this boogie, blah 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 blah. And Goten and Trunks are like 17 and 18. But in the last Dragon Ball movie, which was Broly, and at the end of Super, they were still like kids, and technically they should have been 14, 15. Now we know Goku himself didn't have a major growth spurt until he was about 18. Gohan kind of the same thing, so we complaining about it. It's just for us, we know it's been like at least 20 years since Goten and Trunks have been around. Well over 20 years. And at the end of Z, they were pretty much adults. Two different people developed their own individuality, all that. So it's like kind of annoying to the fans that they haven't aged them up yet, especially now that we have Pam and Bulla. But hopefully in the movie, we will get teenage Goten and Trunks. There's two more characters they haven't revealed yet, so that's what we're waiting on to reveal. But like I said, I was just listening to a couple of people's reviews on the chapter. I haven't read the chapter yet myself, so let's get back into it.
Punching a pile of rocks, and as soon as Gas had then sensed how Granola was indeed now behind him in an instant, as soon as Gas went on to turn his head, Gas then quickly proceeded in unleashing these energy beams that came directly from his eyes, which to the credit of Toyotaro in making Gas stand out that much more, we really haven't seen that many Dragon Ball Super villains actually perform so as shooting these energy beams directly at Granola once again, Granola in getting out of the way behind Gas again.
Find and rescue the Danes.
Granola was using one of the floating rocks as a means of a distraction, because the moment Gas quickly turned around and assuming that Granola was directly behind the rock, he quickly kicked it in, not knowing that Granola had once again used instant strength getting out of dodge, except this time instead of being behind Gas, battlefield as Gas turned his head in anger. It was very clear by this point that Granola was simply too fast for Gas to keep up, so Gas still attempted to try anything as he went on to dash down below in his attempts of kicking Granola. By the time he even attempted to do so with Granola that much more, Gas just kept on missing as he was kicking rock after rock after rock, because as a means of using instant transmission, Granola was simply too fast for Gas to keep up.
Find and rescue the Danes.
Strategy of Granola, as all of these rocks were going around Gas, what Granola ended up doing was clinching onto his fist and causing all of these rocks around Gas to explode, which not only brought on and creating a distance, but this little town because as Gas was shown seemingly to not waste a single second, despite by dashing on in and kicking Gas directly in the gut, to where once again, even though Gas is still standing, he is seemingly enough being hurt in this fight as it's progressing, because number one, he can't seem to catch Granola. Number two, with Granola using his surroundings as an intimate distraction and then getting a clean shot on Gas, Gas is frustrated, Gas is angry, and Gas is seemingly losing, with even both Maki and Oil further acknowledging this, as Oil went on to comment, Gas might be stronger, but he's losing in the skills department. Guess what? Dragon Balls ain't all that after all, with Maki responding, hang on. Gas won't let it end like this.
Find and rescue the Danes.
Launches. It was once again fairly evident to see that both Gas and Granola were then using instant transmission, having to avoid one another's attacks.
Find
Because
and
I
rescue the
don't
Danes.
either of the two needed to hold back, because as we then get to see how both Gas and Granola were attempting to kick each other and causing a massive collision with their legs, there seems to be something wrong as this fight is now beginning to progress, because based on Granola's expression in showing signs of concern and anger, Gas, on the other hand, seems to be smiling as Gas went on to comment, I can now track your every move, as the two are then shown
Need to get on the other side.
to chime in, damn it. Granola wasted too much time and allowed Gas to grow accustomed to those new moves. As we only then make our way back to Gas and Granola, Gas was then shown connecting a ferocious uppercut to Granola's face, with Granola seemingly baffled by this and wondering what the heck is going on, because it would only now appear as though in some kind of way Granola seems to be losing his edge over Gas, with Granola refusing to drop on down and maintaining his balance. Gas once again did not waste a single second by dashing towards Granola and telling him, I won't lose sight of you again. But it was only then during that moment before Gas could actually connect another attack on Granola, where out of the blue, another version of Granola had gone on to appear and kicking Gas directly in the face, where the moment Gas's body is then shown flying away, again out of nowhere, a third copy ended up appearing and essentially ate the original Granola by kicking Gas up in the air, to where back down on the battlefield now we have 3 versions of Granola, 2 copies and 1 original, with Gas visibly not pleased by the overall situation, as Gas went on to comment, now it's clones? But before Gas could even strategize in figuring out what to do, nowhere, 8 different copies of Granola had appeared in surrounding Gas, in aiming down sight and firing multiple key blasts directly at him, which to the brilliant strategy of Granola in doing this,
Mind you, this is the latest chapter of Dragon Ball Super, so the manga is still going. We're just waiting on the anime to return. The manga has been going on for years now.
Vegeta had arrived on planet Pharrell, one of his clones as a means to fight off against Super Saiyan Blue Goku, which, speaking of, as we how Goku and Vegeta are carefully observing this, Goku seems to be very happy in the overall situation, as Goku wants to respond, relax, Granola still has the skills to win this thing. But even then, despite having to be outnumbered, Gas was not having it, because as Gas was shown having to take all of these key blasts head on, he quickly then made his way to dashing towards one of the clones, with one of the clones seemingly essentially laying off for the time being until then shown once again making his way towards another clone and being shown taking each and every single one of them out one by one, because by that point Gas had already known what to do, and what he needs to do is take out Granola's clones before Granola's clones could actually damage him enough, losing him the fight as Gas was shown taking them down, to where as we see all of the clones stumbling in the sky, Gas went on to smirk by responding, making clones splits your power. How idiotic. This last
Thank you so much.
then, as with all of Granola's clones then shown close Gas went on to in formulating an attack that went on to not only strike one clone, but as he then proceeded in wiping off a that had done bring the tournament of power, and that's every single one of the clones through the abdominals by using this key strike-like method and piercing all of the clones at the exact same time, which, again, to Toyotaro's credit, we don't normally get to see full pages of action from him, whereas by comparison here, we have an entire page being shown of Gas literally just mauling through each and every single one of the clones as if it were nothing. But this little course of
Find and
action
rescue the Danes.
did come with a small price to pay, because with all of the clones now shown in tremendous amounts of pain, with Maki and Oil shown laughing, as even Monaito and Vegeta could not believe as to what was going on, as Gas then went on to smile in responding, you got lost in the power of those skills, Granola. By the time it was all said and done, Gas was not expecting the following events to happen, because while Gas made it his mission in holding the clone his attack, it was only then where out of nowhere people reached
Find and rescue the Danes.
in finding the opening that he was looking for this entire time, and making sure that this was going to be the moment where Granola finally goes on to finish off Gas once and for all, because even with Gas seeing
Best raise my hood here.
Him right before his very eyes. Not even Gas could believe as to what the heck had happened, with Granola then shown smiling and responding, or I was just waiting for this perfect opening. As only then sees
Find and rescue the Danes.
to dissipate. This was the exact moment that Granola had been waiting for this entire time, as Granola went on to shout, "Now!" As it was only then shown right then and there during that moment where Granola had left on the table, including his all an incredibly powerful attack which went on to connect right on Gas's stomach, which if you look at the way Granola had put in so much effort in making sure that this was it, then you can see the level of detail that Toro went on to convey this with, because you can see his veins popping out and his muscles
Find and rescue the Danes.
Gas was absolutely horrified, not just at the fact that this blast made contact, but apparently enough, this attack itself looks to have actually had damaged him, because both Maki and Oil's jaws actually drop as well, with Gas's body shown flying out with tremendous force out into the distance. One would only imagine that by taking an attack of this magnitude from point-blank range that this would be it, because during that point, Gas was sent flying out through the landscape, he was smashing through the rocks, he was going through the woods, which again goes on to show the
Find and rescue the Danes.
attack it had, because Gas was flying through everything until eventually enough, his body was shown entering a nearby lake as he crossed the side of
Find
it.
and rescue the Danes.
Was shown trying to catch his breath and giving it his all, in knowing the fact that this could have been it. You can literally see how exhausted Granola was by the end of this based on his overall expression, as we only then make our way back inside
Find and rescue the Danes.
Drowned right before our very eyes. Maki and Oil were not willing to let this happen because they went on to convene.
Find and rescue the Danes.
Being destroyed right before their eyes, with both of them quickly shown taking action, Goku went on to oversee Granola by then commenting, "Way to go! Wait," says Vegeta.
Find and rescue the Danes.
Granola. Any damage taken by the clones is felt by his real body. That final point was a sacrificial one, and with Monaito desperately shown trying to make his way towards Granola, Granola did not want anyone else to get near him, as he went on to stick his arm out by shouting, "Stay back! It's not over yet!" But when going back to Gas, fortunately enough for him, he was saved by both Maki and Oil, as Maki went on to comment, "Come on, stay with us!" As Gas was shown sitting up, out of nowhere, the leader himself, Alec, had arrived, as this in fact was an unexpected surprise to the eyes of many, as Alec went on to ask, "What's wrong, Gas? This isn't like you." Alec says Granola.
Find and rescue the Danes.
Why is Gas getting his butt beat? Alec asks Maki. "You're sure you made that wish to turn him into the universe's strongest, right?" "Of course I did," says Alec. "Gas is undeniably the strongest fighter
Find
now.
and rescue the Danes.
Margin, in fact, and was Alec shown on down and reaching towards Gas's head. It was only then to the shock of everyone where Alec went on to remove the bone pendant that was around his head. As
Find and rescue the Danes.
Now the strongest fighter was not expecting this, as Maki went on to ask, What gives? No point in being the strongest in the universe," Alec says, "when you have all that precious power sealed away. I know you can
Find and rescue the Danes.
So liberate that in nature," with Oil asking, you sure, man? This didn't turn out so hot 40 years ago," Maki adds. As Gas then being shown eerily enough struggling with something, Maki then goes on to continue, "This is clearly a bad idea. When our instincts are unleashed, we lose all sense of ourselves." And with Gas shown changing, Alec went on to respond, "Endure it, Gas. You're not the man you were back then." As Gas then
Find and
showed
rescue the Danes.
vicious and this way, nobody on that board had any
Find and
idea
rescue the Danes.
all the gas was, now that we more or less understood what would happen if this pendant were to be removed, it was all or nothing. Not what the result was going to be, as the gas then being shown flying up in the air and completely losing control. We then oversee him taking a look at how his eyes are beginning to change, his pupils are gone, he's beginning to grow horns from his forehead, his shirt's beginning to tear up, as lo and behold, he finally gets to bear witness to Berserker Gas, who eerily enough kind of reminds me of the gigantic version
Find and rescue the Danes.
Heroes based on the teeth and the eyes that he has, along with giving me both Broly / Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super. So this is what is supposed to be Gas's true power manifested on the surface, which the only problem here is, despite the muscle increase to the sides of the
Find and rescue the Danes.
which this could also be looked at as some kind of a reference in seeing how this was similar to Buffalo before reverting back down to his original form in
Find and rescue the Danes.
Everyone was left in shock by what they were looking at because in the distance, you take a look
Find
at
and
Gas'
rescue the
body,
Danes.
this very powerful shockwave and electricity from his body, streams of lightning having to course all throughout the landscape. As Goku and Vegeta went on to comment, is that Gas? Where did he find the power? What is he? Granola asks. That look, Monaito says. I saw it with my own eyes. Where did he go? What, says Vegeta, with Monaito continuing, when Bardock had Gas on the ropes, he lost himself and turned into that. He lost himself, Granola says? So that's his last resort. But despite having to then lose his mind, Gas immediately then took action in knowing what he had originally come there for, in knowing who the opposition was, because from there, even Granola went on to acknowledge
Find and
the
rescue the Danes.
happen because Gas did not waste a single second by dashing directly towards Granola, which was done in such a violent and ferocious way that you almost kind of feel the tension between the two, because as pointed out earlier, this gives me Dragon Ball vibes in the way Gas was kind of looking and being portrayed in wanting to grab Granola, where, mind you, if you stop and pay very close attention to Toyotaro's detail, you can see the muscle tone literally popping out from Granola's back, where I think that this is a good and very solid representation of how you want your characters to look like. So props goes out to Toyotaro for making Granola actually seem like an opposing figure, even though Gas by default kind of overshadows him in both muscle and growth, but despite
Find and
having
rescue the
smaller in
Danes.
size, Granola exactly what he needed to do in immediately taking action by leaping out of the way and avoiding the strike that Gas had initially intended. But despite Granola trying to get away, Gas still
Find
ended up
and rescue the
grabbing him, where he
Danes.
follows up by squeezing Granola's leg in such a violent way that you could also see the lightning emanating from Gas's body onto Granola and shocking him, which again, if you take a look
Annals
at
of history. I press circle close. Long ago, before the Romans came, this was the home of fearsome Celtic warriors, the Trinovants. After the Romans invaded, they made short work fortifying against the heavens, raising the earth and building a fortress. This occupation only lasted 6 years.
Such shockwaves throughout the landscape, as you can see lightning flowing through the sky. This was, of course, now something a little different than what our
Find
heroes
and
were
rescue the
accustomed to,
Danes.
because even after slamming Granola's body face down on the ground, Gas had then proceeded and thrown Granola's body out into the distance, where it was Granola now who was shown flying through the forest. He was breaking all of
Find
the
and
trees
rescue
as
the
they were going,
Danes.
but fortunately enough for Granola, he quickly went on to grab onto the ground and maintaining his balance, but something was off. His eye, it looked as though something had happened which caused Granola's
Find and
eye to
rescue the Danes.
apparently enough could not deep what the heck was going on, but it was already too late by the time Granola had figured out what was going on, because Gas was already hot on this trail, with Gas then following and grabbing Granola by the head and picking him up and then back down on the ground. However, this time, Gas didn't just simply slam Granola down and let him go. No. What Gas ended up doing instead was he wanted to punish Granola. So, in taking the necessary measures needed to inflict as much damage to Granola as possible, Gas was then shown drilling Granola's body through Planet Swell itself, to where as Monaito, Goku, and Vegeta
Find and
were
rescue the Danes.
believe as to what had happened, because 1 minute they're overseeing the fight in front of them, and the next thing you know, there was a massive burst that then suddenly echoed behind them, which ultimately turned out to be none other than Gas himself, still clutching onto Granola's skull, as he had not only dug through the entire planet and emerging through the other side, but the moment Gas had then gone on and
Find
thrown
and rescue the Danes.
out into the distance, the heroes are now overseeing this shown huffing and puffing, there's saliva dripping down from his mouth, and Maki doesn't seem to be pleased by this, as Maki went on to comment, see, he's lost his mind again. And with Granola on the phone with Gas getting on top of him, Gas was extremely unmerciful and unrelenting in his pursuit of smashing Granola's face in, because with the first strike that he had landed on Granola's head, he had not only managed to knock some blood out of Granola's mouth, but at the same time, he also went on to knock oatmeal
Find and
completely
rescue the
off his head.
Danes.
As Gas kept hitting Granola over and over and over again, Goku went on to comment, "This is nuts. Granola's not gonna last much longer." Hey, old man, says Vegeta, how in the world did Bardock defeat Gas when he was like that? But to the absolute uselessness of Monaito's character, he now went on to respond to Vegeta by telling him, I was unconscious. I didn't see. As we then make our way back to Gas, who was once again shown punching Granola's face in, Maki and Will went on to revive as Maki shouts,
Find and
"Yo,
rescue the
gas.
Danes.
Destroying stuff is great, but don't let that urge overtake you. Come back to your senses and rise as he lays off the blade, standing back up. You can see how gas is
Find and
struggling
rescue the Danes.
out as he's drooling with saliva all over his body. But even then, this doesn't do the healers any justice because then gas
Find
moves on
and
to
rescue the Danes.
not only unleashing a terrifying scream and dashing directly towards the heaters, but the moment he did, he went on to momentarily strike both Will and Maki before having to hit a pile of rocks in front of him, to where this goes on to demonstrate and further showcase the level of craziness that Gas has right now within himself, because even after crashing into this boulder, he then went on to lean back and smashing his own head into the rocks over and over and over again, which again kind of goes as far as to showcase the level of insanity that Gas with having no control over his own body. But out of all people that are present on the battlefield, Electric was concerned as he went on to arrive at responding. It's fine. Goku says he's lost his mind.
Find
Now
and
what?
rescue the Danes.
Gas is gonna wreck himself. The universe's strongest warrior should have greater control over his own power than any other, says, and Gas then once again is shown fine. And the truth once again.
Find and rescue the Danes.
See that Gas was now slowly but surely making his way towards them. By the end, that was exactly what happened, because as Gas made his way towards our heroes, the first individual that Gas had gone on targeting
Find and rescue the Danes.
Vegeta, because not only was Gas able to move with such speed to where Goku even couldn't see him, but the force of the kick itself that
Find and
Gas had
rescue the Danes.
was so intense and so powerful that as Vegeta's body is shown being slammed up against as Vegeta himself is now beginning to crumble, just like he had done with Granola, Gas is now beginning to beat down and punching Vegeta over and over and over again. But Goku is
Find
not
and
going to
rescue
sit
the
idly
Danes.
by and allowing for this to happen, as Goku went on to shout Vegeta's name by charging on in, as Gas is still punching Vegeta, but he also goes on to hear Goku, and the moment Goku went on to make his first move, Gas quickly went on to block Goku's punch. But the second Gas had gone on and locking eyes with Goku, he'd seen
Find
his
and rescue the Danes.
and then went on to alarm Gas in hitting him deep within, because then we get to see how there was a flashback in which predates 40 years ago in seeing how Bardock was able to defeat Gas, with Bardock being shown doing the exact same move that he had done to protect Planet Vegeta in going up against Frieza, in replicating and creating a similar spherical energy and firing it down
Find and
at Gas.
rescue the
Gas
Danes.
was up in utter shock. One can only assume that this gigantic attack was the end result of Gas's downfall, because when going back to the present,
Find and rescue the
Gas had
Danes.
been on and flying on backwards and tumbling on back, with even Goku wondering, huh? Because now Goku indirectly had triggered some sort of PTSD
Find and
on
rescue the
Gas, because
Danes.
it was very evident that Gas was afraid of Bardock, and to some extent he did lose to him. But all the while, with Elec looking on down and still keeping a
Find
smile
and
on his
rescue the
face, Elec went on
Danes.
to comment, "Go on, Gas. Remember, you swore never to lose again, right?" As these were the words that were able to then finally calm Gas down, because with everyone looking on in utter shock and disbelief,
Find and
Gas's
rescue the
body is
Danes.
then just having to condense itself back down, as we see something different occur as his body is more toned, there's smoke emanating from his joints, and Gas then shut open his eyes. We then
Find
go
and
back to
rescue the
Gas's
Danes.
only this time additional horns being added to his forehead, with the assumption now that Gas was able to fully control his berserker form. As Gas was shown looking on, that's when Elec responded, "Yes, there you go. It looks like he had some kind of awakening," Goku says. "My little brother is the strongest in the universe for real
Find and
now.
rescue the
Go
Danes.
on, Gas. Annihilate those who stand in our way." As with Gas shown nodding his head in agreement, it was only then, in that moment, where Dragon Ball Super called and Gas from Super Bowl 2 then comes to a close. Now, there is absolutely no doubt, and make no mistake about it, that the overall situation that our
Find and rescue the Danes.
is very dire,
Find and rescue the Danes.
especially when considering several factors going into this upcoming battle with a newly powered Gas. Our heroes are worn down, our heroes are extremely tired, our heroes are extremely exhausted, and I don't think that our heroes necessarily have a plan in combating Gas, especially as he is right now. But even if they don't, they're still going to have to gather themselves and getting their acts together and working as a singular unit, because with Gas retaining all of that
Find and rescue the Danes.
power, now condensing that back into his adult form, with the only physical change on his body being those gigantic enormous tusks or horns coming out of his forehead, you can only imagine how and dare I say, how he was before. So this is going to be a lot more complex. What I want to know from you guys is on a scale of 1 to 5, with 1 being
Annals of
absolute
History
trash
II.
and 10
Press
being
Circle Plus, a
absolutely
temple
perfect. Would
dedicated
you
to their
guys
god
rank
Emperor
Dragon Ball Super
Claudius,
Manga
the
Chapter
grandest of
80
all
on a
buildings
scale
in
of 1 to 5?
Colonia. Claudius,
Because
they venerated him as we do our saints, with a symbol of civilization and occupation. Little wonder then that Boudica, the queen of the Iceni, burned it to the ground. I will ask Burston for some funds to preserve what is left. Brother Harold.
Lymphoma, other cancers, nervous system and blood disorders, and allergic reactions have occurred. Tell your doctor if you've been someplace where fungal infections are common, or if you're prone to infections, have cuts or sore.
the X-Men might be one of Marvel's most iconic superhero teams, but throughout the far reaches of the Marvel multiverse,
Annals of History
heroes
II.
are
Press
even more
Circle Plus,
villainous
a
than
temple
it's
dedicated.
correct. Hey everybody, I'm Josh Presser, and today we're going to be counting down the top 10 evil alternate versions of the X-Men. Coming in at number 10, we have the Wild
Find
West.
and rescue the Danes.
In an alternate Marvel universe that bears an incredible resemblance to America in the 1800s, outlaws known as the Xavier Gang are plaguing a small town in Arizona, with every mutant member of the team being individually mind controlled by